In this video, we're going to talk about how to create moving pictures. I don't mean film, I mean still photographs that you move across. We see this in documentaries like Ken Burns's National Park documentaries or his baseball documentaries, where he takes pictures and moves across that picture. And it gives motion, sort of like film or video, which is what we want to see a lot of times, right? We also see this being used in perhaps movies or fictional movies, or also being used in news packages or news stories. Let me show you how to do this. Okay, so I'm going to go through the process here, which I've already talked about, of how to set up a picture in Premiere. Okay, and I discussed this in a previous video, so let me quickly do that. I'm going to drag this down to the timeline. I'm going to right click on the clip, say scale to frame size, and then do it again and unscale it to frame size, and then I'm going to go and make sure that this is scaled all the way out to the exact size of the picture. So I'm going to go to the Effects Controls tab of the picture clip, go to Motion, and then click this little box. And here's the box, and we're just going to scale it in so that we see the entire picture. We want to make sure not to show the black. There's the black. We want to go back out a little bit more. There we go. And now we can see the entire picture. And I'm just going to change the zoom level back to fit. And we can see that we have just a little bit of black, which I want to fix. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now we have our picture where it needs to be. We're ready to begin the process of developing motion over this picture. So let's say that I want to zoom in and move to the right so that we see the solar panels up close. So what we're going to do is create keyframes, video keyframes. And video keyframes can be used to freeze motion, freeze video, and then start motion back up, start the video back up. They can be used when it comes to volume, to fade in, fade out. They can be used for many purposes in Premiere, but we're going to create video keyframes that we can use to move across the picture. Okay, so we're going to zoom in, and then we're going to go to the right a little bit on those solar panels. So what we have to do is first tell Premiere where we want to begin at. When it shows the clip, where do you want the clip? What do you want the clip to look like? So what I'm gonna do is stretch this out a little bit more down here so that we can have the clip to be a little bit longer. And I'm gonna go back to the clip by double clicking on it and go back to the Effects Controls tab. And we see underneath the motion area, if you click this down arrow, you should see all of this. We have the position and scale. So scale. Currently our scale is 100%. We're looking at, it's not 100% according to what it says, but we're looking at the full picture, okay? We're not zoomed in, we're all the way out, okay? So I'm going to tell Premiere that, let's see, where are we at on the clip here? 3 seconds into the clip, I want you to begin your motion. So I'm going to tell it, I want the motion to begin at this scale, which is all the way zoomed out. So I'm going to click this little stopwatch or little clock. That's going to mark the beginning point for our scale, which is 100% zoomed out. Okay? At least from our point of view, not from the computer's point of view. And then we want to begin at this centered position. We're centered right now. So we're going to tell it also to create a keyframe at the beginning for this position, which is centered. And you can see that it's created 2 keyframes here, position and scale. Now, let's pick where we want the keyframing to end at, meaning where it's going to end at. So we want to end it, we started it at, what, about 3 seconds in, and we want to end it, we want the motion to occur for maybe 4 seconds. Okay, so we've got 7 seconds, 3 frames here. And we have to tell Premiere now, at 7 seconds, 3 frames, I want you to be at the end point, meaning I want you to be at the solar panels and to the right. I want you to do what I have asked you to do, which is zoom in and go to the right a little bit by 7 seconds and 3 frames. So now that we've told it that, we can begin the action of telling it how far to zoom in or how far to scale and where to move. So let's go ahead and show it what we want. So we're going to zoom in a little bit. Okay. And then that creates a scale keyframe. So it knows at the end of everything that's happening, we're going to end up here. Okay, that's going to be our scale. Then let's position it. So let's say we don't want to move up and down. That's not what we want. And of course, Premiere saves while we're trying to work. We want to move left and right. So we're going to move over here and move this a little bit to the right. Okay, and we're going to end there. So it knows, as far as scale, at 7 seconds and 3 frames, it needs to be in position to have this scale and to have this position. Okay? So if we did everything right, it should do what we asked to do. Now remember, we do not begin the motion immediately. Okay? The motion will begin at 3 seconds into the picture. So it's going to be steady for about 3 seconds and then move. Let's see what happens. So there's our motion, and then it has stopped. And you can cut, if you want, to just cut it right when it gets done moving. So you want to cut to another clip, you can do that by just adjusting the clip size back to this point. And if we play it back, you can see that it's going to end pretty much when motion has stopped. Great tool to use. It's a cool thing to do, and it can be used. If you were starting, let's say you were starting your motion with it zoomed in. So you're looking at a solar panel like we were at the end of our particular process. You can start zoomed in and then move out. So a lot of times what we see in movies, documentary movies, is that if they're talking about a person, they may start with his or her t-shirt, right? Maybe they've got, I don't know, Mega Man on their t-shirt. They're a gamer, and you want to start with that t-shirt zoomed in, and then you want, after a few seconds, to move out and see the entire body of the person, see their face. You can do that. You can do it in reverse, okay? You just have to kind of think about it in a backwards way, but you can do the same thing, okay? This is a very cool technique, and I hope that you will enjoy creating the motion over photographs in the future.